Baby chicks growing all up. Hey, I wonder how many of y'all have really thought to yourself, contemplated with yourself, been thinking with yourself about why is it that people seem to always want to do what it is that you do? Why is it that people always seem to want to just be a part of what it is that you're a part of? Why is it that people always just want to like talk the same way you talk, hang around the same people you hang around, just do the same stuff you do? And just always in the mix of wanting to be exactly like you, where that person's saying, oh, no, I'm not doing that. But you could clearly see exactly what's going on. My name is Mark Anthony DeBose Jr., and I was born July 4th of 1986. And today I want to talk about something that's just very, very interesting to me. That there was a talk in a day that I talked about this, that today I have to upgrade this talk to a different way and a different meaning of existence, considering what's going on with my day-to-day life now, where things are changing, things are moving in a different direction, and things are starting to be able to really just come to me that just, I don't know how else to say, just like magic, but just amazing, just awesome. And that simple concept of making sure that people are doing the same thing that you're doing, but you got to be very, very careful that when these people are doing what you're doing, who is it that you're following? Who is it that you're getting your guidelines from to be able to do what it is that you do, that's making these other people want to say follow you and want to do what it is that you do? Where I felt like before, I was on a very, very self-destructive pattern that anybody who would want to say follow me, you would be following me to a very, very self-destructive pattern and running into a situation where you just were always in black, you're always frustrated, you're always angry, you're always irritated, and you're always just really thrown off from what it is that you are able to be able to do on a day-to-day basis. That for me now, I come to realize who it is that I follow, who it is that I pray to, who it is that I greatly appreciate more than anything else on this planet, being God, that I appreciate it when I see someone do what it is that I do. Does it annoy you sometimes when someone does that? I would say yeah, but to my way of life today, I realized I actually encourage it. I want you to make videos that are super similar to mine. I want you to have all the same dress style that I have. I want you to cover your entire body up like I do. I want you to stop having to mutilate yourself and stop having to damage yourself like I do. I want you to be able to have an abundance of food like I do. I want you to make sure that you can secure a nice water source. That my water source got jammed up, but I still had enough to make it by. When I still can say that the whole tank ran out this past week, that it was a very, very unfortunate circumstance, but I had enough. I had just enough to be able to make sure that I can get by. That I want you to be able to have that same enough. I want you to have the same amount of clarity, the same amount of calmness, the same amount of peace, the same amount of joy, the same amount of just inspirations to be able to get stuff done and be able to want to do stuff and be able to want to jump into new projects and start new tasks and do new things. That I want you to copy all of that, of what it is that I do. I want you to copy me in ways of making sure that you're figuring out a way to be able to secure some food for yourself, that you're figuring out how to be able to raise out some animals to be able to consume for yourself, to figure out how to deal with bad case scenarios that happen to you on your day-to-day basis. That every day, all the time, is not always just fun and happy and joyful and peace and just happy-go-lucky and everything is just so perfect. No, you're going to have times. But the main thing is when you have those times of sticky situations that come to you, to realize and know what to do in that, and not to rely on your own self and your own flesh and your own ways of thinking and your own ways of being to be able to say get yourself through it, to be able to get yourself out of it. That you want to really be able to rely upon. Hold on, let me try and recenter this. I think that way will center. Nope, that's not going to center it. And try to rely upon yourself to be able to get through it, that you rely upon God to be able to help you get through some things, to be able to, let me see, we'll shift over now. Yep. To rely upon God to be able to get you to do some things, to be able to take care of some stuff on this planet that hey Shadow, we good. I'm right here, man. That dog's not going to come and take over nothing from over here. But I wonder how many of y'all have really ran into a situation where people were constantly copying you, people were constantly following you, and you felt like you were irritated about it because you felt like they were just always trying to do what it is that you do and always like almost trying to like show off and one up on you in a way or something. Where for me, I feel like I want you to. I'm pleased to. I'm almost begging for you to please like do better than what it is that I do. Like make more than what I've been able to make. Like do more than I've been able to do. Like be a part of more than I've ever been able to be a part of. Like I really, really want you to do that. I really want for you to take a look at what it is that I'm doing and say, hey man, that guy's raising some chickens. Well, I want to raise some turkeys. I'm going to raise 1,000 turkeys this summer. I say, hey, come on, man, let's get it going. Let's make something happen here. That's something inside of me that I used to get so frustrated when people would follow me, when people would try to get the same kind of haircut as me, when people would try to wear the same kind of clothes as me, when people start using the same terminology, the same way that I speak, to start reading the same books that I read. That people never read no books, but I appreciate if you would read some books that I would read and just start to kind of try to do a lot of the same stuff that I would do, that it would just frustrate me. And I think that it would frustrate me because I didn't have someone to follow myself other than just other people myself, that felt like I was just making you replicate something else that like I wanted to basically be. Where for me today, I'm never going to be God, and I'm never going to understand what it is to be him. I'm never going to understand what it is to be about him, that I'm just a simple human being in comparison to who God is. Hey, Oreo, let's get down. I'm a simple human being in comparison to who God is. So for you to want to try to copy what it is that I do when I'm sitting out here praying to God and trying to like be like him, I would say, but I just would never be able to be like, that's someone that I want to be able to bring you closer to and get you to have more information with, to be able to upgrade and escalate your life into a better case scenario. And that's something that only just excites me today, that I'm pleased to know that there's people out there that really just want to do the same thing that I do, that I really want you to step your game up a little bit and a little bit harder and a little bit more, to try and like just do more than what I've ever done before. Like try to irritate me thinking that doing what it is that I do, try to irritate me thinking that trying to copy everything that I'm doing and thinking that you're gonna like show off and have something more than me and have something better than me, then it's something to me that's just, it's absolutely amazing to me today. That I will say, I used to get frustrated at that. When I would post a video of something and someone else would post the same exact type video, but just change it up just a little bit. I feel like that's where for me, today, unfortunately, but fortunately, I had to make sure that I'm changing everything that I'm doing and headed in a different case scenario and making sure that I'm doing something that I'm going to say is going to be challenging for you to be able to just copy and be able to just try to do the same thing on and try to just act like you can do the same thing as me. That I've got to make it a little more difficult, because I'm a very difficult person, I guess I'm going to say, when it comes to using my creativity to figuring out what it is that I'm trying to be able to create and recreate on this planet. That everything that I do is not just simple and basic. That I would say there's some little things that I do that's simple, but even when I cook my meals and even when I sleep, even when I shower, everything I do is far from being, or I'll go home. Go home. It's far from being very, very simple and basic. Go home. And that's something that I like, being able to upgrade what it is that I do. I like being able to push further with what it is that I do. But for me, for someone to try to copy everything copy everything that I do on a day-to-day basis today is kind of very, very funny to me, because you got a lot that you got to be able to work towards. You got a lot that you got to be able to figure out how to be able to do and figure out how to even start. And for me, I don't know what it is, but I like that. I like it because that means that you're getting closer and closer to God. That means that you're starting to understand more and more about who Jesus is. That means you're starting to really understand more in reality. You're starting to really understand more of who you are, of your own self, of what you're all about, of what you want to do, of what you're really being able to figure out how to focus what it is that you're all about on this planet, and not really using someone else. That if you're really, really trying to get close to me and follow me and try to do the same thing as me and try to be about me, you're not going to figure me out. You're going to figure more about your own self out, because the more that I get closer to God, the more I figure my own self out, regardless of who it is that I see doing anything. That for me, I don't know what it is, but I just get inspiration every day to just do what it is that I do. That I've ran out of how to follow somebody like another human being. Like I get blocked when I look at something like, oh, that's cool, I should try that. And then I'm just like, yeah, no. But what if I just do this instead with whatever comes to me, with whatever way? That I'd appreciate it when more and more people fall into that, because I know that if you want to do exactly what it is that I do, if you want to stay on top of trying to just copy everything that it is that I'm constantly always doing every day, you're gonna have no choice but to fall into running into a situation where you're just like, I know how to do my own thing now. I know how to take care of my own stuff now. I know how to make happen what it is that I need to make happen now, and I don't need to focus on that anymore because I'm gonna focus on myself, because that's the power of God. God out here is gonna be able to remind you, and really not even just remind you if you don't already know, but really put inside of you to know that you are an extremely unique individual on this planet, that you are one of one. You are just the only one. So every time that we are out here trying to copy people, the more that we are getting away from being ourselves and getting away from doing what it is that we need to do, that we all have our own thing to say. We all have our own message. We all have our own life experience. We all have our own situations that's come to us that no one else can replicate that exact same existence, that exact same thing, that we are all very, very different. And the more and more that, I don't know what it is, people, but I just watch a lot of, not a lot of, but a lot of, I guess more than a lot, whatever you consider is a lot and whatever I consider is a lot. I watch a lot of videos and I feel like they're all the same. Like they're all exactly the same thing. Everyone's got the same background, the same lights, the same desk, sitting in front of the same camera, even using the same camera, doing all the same stuff, that it's just like, when y'all gonna finally like break out and change it up and do your own thing? When are you gonna finally just make something happen and just be your own uniqueness and make happen what you want to make happen? That's why for me, I feel like, I don't know, I still have yet to see anybody doing what it is that I'm doing personally, but I don't think I ever will, because I do something that's very, very unique, and I don't look to anything or anybody for any assistance or any guidance to figure out what it is that I need to focus on and work with next. That I get recommendations. I get recommendations all the time. Hey, Mark, or hey, Anthony, or hey, Mr. DeBose, maybe you should try it like this. Maybe you should do it like that. But in reality, I come to realize I don't, I'm sorry, but I'm not. I don't listen to anything that anybody has to say, because I'm listening to the one main source that I have to pay attention to, and that's God on this planet. And I'm not going to sit here and try. You can come back if you don't mess with these chickens. You can come. You mess with those chickens, you're going back up there again. And I feel like I do what it is that I do in a way that just expresses exactly who I am and what I'm all about and what I'm capable of doing out here. And not that I'm some magical being, some better being, some stronger being, but I'm very, very unique, and I want to be able to show that and represent that. And I want more and more people to break out of what it is that you're doing and start to be that same thing and do that same thing. And stop just doing the same old, same old. Stop seeing what someone does and just doing it, especially if they're not following the one true God, especially if they're not following and doing and living by the practices and living by the ways that they should be living by. Because if they're not, you're following something and you're copying something, you're trying to be something that is going to be very destructive for you. It's going to be destructive because they're not really sure who they are, because they're also copying off from someone else and from someone else and from someone else. When that cycle just keeps going, who even knows who the first part is? That you got to figure out your own thing. You got to figure out what it is that you really just want to focus on and do on this planet, and just make it happen, and don't care what it is that anybody else has to say about it. Don't care, make happen what it is that someone's going to say, oh, that's stupid. Just, okay, that's cool. You think that what I do is stupid. That's awesome. And there's a million, probably billion people that would say what it is that I do out here and how I take care of what I take care of and how my setups all are is stupid. I got chickens in a dog kennel. I got this built thing that who knows what it is, what the heck that is. And someone will look at that and say, that's wrong. That's disgusting. That's not right. Oreo, let's go home. Like that's not right. Go home. That's not right, and you're not going to possibly be able to keep anything alive in that. That they're all going to be struggling in there. They're all going to be hurting in there. Home. Get all the way in your crate this time. Get in your crate. And they're not going to survive in there. It's not perfect, it's not painted, it's not this, and a lot of people say that what I do is just super ruthless and super just disgusting. And I just look at what it is that I have here, and I don't know why, but when I look at it, I'm just absolutely amazed with it, that I don't care what somebody has to say. I've had people come here and say like, oh, you got chickens in a dog kennel? I'm like, I sure do. I sure do have them in there, and they hanging out and they thriving, and their eggs are constantly giving me more eggs. I mean, the hens are constantly giving me more eggs, and I've got some other babies in there that are running around that are growing up. Unfortunately, lost 3 of them. They can't compete with the meat birds because they're so small. They take twice as long to grow out as opposed to these guys. So those guys, when they start getting big fast, because you can see they're getting big, they're big fast, and the other ones are really small, so they can't compete. So I messed up with that I need to have a separate house for them. But that's just lessons learned and situations to figure out, and just stuff to constantly keep evolving with, to get myself in a better case scenario that I didn't know. And who did know? Who would have known? But it's just very interesting, everything that I have out here that I do, that I'm following what it is I feel like I get the inspiration from God to be able to do, and God to be able to have a good understanding of what to make happen, and what to focus on, and what to work on, and how to put this together, and how to get that together, and how to build something to be able to make sure that it's strong. And I just start working, I just see it, and I just sit there, and I'm just like, okay. I'm not watching no video, because I've done that. I tried that. I tried watching all the videos that everybody does with raising chicken. I built all the shelters that everybody's built. The Joe Salatin, the greatest farmer man, that he needs to be our agricultural CEO of the country, in my opinion. That if I was high up on the ranks, I'd be promoting and trying to get him to make sure that he's taking care of our nation, and knowing how to be able to create and recreate, and how to manage and maintain land, and maintain our animals, and maintain ourselves at the same time. Shoot, maintain relationships and family at the same time. That man right there is a pretty incredible man. I built his structure. I looked at that and I saw it, and I was just like, that just for me? No, I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like the way that the chicken's looking at it. I didn't like what was going on with it. And I could look at video after video after video after video and see that everybody's doing that. So I was like, I got to do that too. And I did that, and I hated it. I didn't like it. I literally, that was the word that I would say, is I hated it. I saw it as just not fun for the chickens at all. Just one little small box, and all they could do was just move that for the remainder of their life. I'm like, no, I want mine to be running. I want them to get it. I want them to have fun. I want them to figure out life. I want them to figure out how to do stuff. So for me, I had to figure out a new system, and then I just couldn't find anybody that had that. So I had to figure out my own. And everything that I do out here is just figuring out my own. Is to try it like this, and try it like that, and try it like that. And it's something that's just really, I felt like, brought such excitement to me, that I'm not following another human being, that I'm listening to, I feel like, what it is that I just get this internal inspiration inside to just do, and just to want to be a part of. Oriole, you come back. I just want to do, and just want to be a part of. And I'm not trying to, you can come. You can come. You can come and do what you was just doing up there. You can down. I don't know why these dogs, they put a smile on my face sometimes, because I get them to do stuff that I just don't see anybody's dogs do. I don't see anybody's dogs do what it is that my dogs do. I don't see anybody's dogs act the way that my dogs act. Get down. I just see something that's just completely unique, because I'm not watching, I'm not doing, I'm not living by a guideline of anything that I see anybody do, other than what I just see is what it is that I need to start taking care of. And I wonder why it is more people don't do that. But something that I do realize is I greatly appreciate it today, especially today. And I used to just hate is a word that I would say, is hate it. When I would have a ringtone, and that person next to me would have that ringtone. When I would have my phone settings a certain way, someone else would have them the same way. When I would work my house some way, they would have the house that way. When I would get a pair of pants, they would get those pairs of pants. Like, they would just do everything. When I got these shoes, they're like, ah, man, I got to get them shoes too. Like, I mean, identical shoes. Not even like trying to get a different color edition of it, but the same ones. I'm like, dude, man, could have got a different color at least. Could have just stuck with the brand and figured, but no, they got to get the same ones. But today, I'm super excited when I see that, because I know that I'm leading you into something that is only going to be a greatness and better. I'm only leading you into something that is just going to be nice and smooth for you. I'm only leading you somewhere where you're going to start losing your frustration. You're going to start losing your anger. You're going to start losing your attitude. You're going to start losing your jealousy. You're going to start losing all of that stuff. You're going to start getting rid of it, because I'm going to be molding you and getting you to be closer to who God is and what God is all about. And it's something for me today that just really excites me in some sort of way, to be able to let me know what it is that I'm out here doing and who it is that I'm out here following, to be able to make sure that life is starting to become differently simple for me. I'm going to say that I used to get frustrated and angry and just irritated at a lot of things that I've come to realize, like I don't know why, but I think it was just this past weekend, this past coldness that came in that really hit me hard again. It put a lot of thinking in me again of what really does truly matter on this planet. What matters? What is the purpose of all this stuff? What is the one thing that just really matters on this planet? And it's something for me that just I really got super excited this weekend. As much as I got slightly irritated with some things that went down, I've come to realize that the things that I'm getting irritated about, it's just like, why are you getting irritated about this when it just does not matter? And the things that I was irritated over, I just realized it just does not matter. Just to let some of this stuff go, just to allow it to just be, allow it to happen in no sort of way. I'm gonna fix this camera real quick. Allow it to just happen, and allow things to just be, and just to realize that it just doesn't matter. And a lot that I was just really focusing on. Oh wow, you are being strong on strong. There you go. And a lot that I was focusing on this weekend was the fact of just simply being alive, and just happy to be alive, and happy to, you can get back down because you're gonna mess up. Get down. You really just want it down next to me. I think that that's what your understanding is, which I guess I could appreciate that. But something I really just realized that it's just the basic bare minimum. It's just the fact of being alive, and just appreciating the fact of being alive and knowing that you've got enough. That sometimes we try to look around and we think that we don't have, whereas it's something in me that's just like, if you can't even see it, it doesn't even matter. What does it matter? It just doesn't matter. There's no reasonings on why you should be focused on what it is that you don't have. You should only be focusing on what it is that you do have. And once you really start, Oreo, down. Once you really start focusing in on what it is that you do have, he's got a newness in him that he just wants to work the chickens all day, all on his own, just goes and just starts to circle them and starts to move them and starts to do something with them. But it doesn't make sense that he does that to the ones that are locked in this cage, because they can't go anywhere. He can't move them anywhere. So he just stares at them and just gives them a hard stare and just scares them. So that's the whole concept of, sometimes I feel like in some of my stuff, like some people probably like, man, you hard on your dog. I'm like, I sure am. I got high expectations on him, but he's doing things that is just irritating a lot of my animals that I don't need that. And that's why I say my dogs are so unique, because he should be locked up all day. He shouldn't just be free range, being able to do what it is he does, because he's a work boy, and he comes out and he knows he's going to work. So when we're out here, he knows that we're going to do something and we're going to make something happen. So it's tricky for him in his brain to figure it out that dogs are smart, but they're not that smart, and they're not that great. And it's something that I've come to realize. Just working with these animals, working with these dogs has really put a lot in me to just really slow down and know what does matter, what really does matter. And I think that this weekend really just put a lot inside of me, put a lot of thought in me of what it is that I really want to start focusing on, and what it is I really want to start making sure that I can make happen to be able to get better with. That a lot before I thought was trying to gain more, get more, have more, be about more, and talk to more, and have more, and just do more and more and more. And I've come to realize, like, just none of that really matters at the end of the day. If you don't have the basic understanding foundation of knowing who God is and what he's all about and what he's able to offer and what he's able to do and what he's been able to do for all of us, that if you don't have that basic foundation of just knowing that, being thankful for just waking up and just being here and being alive for this little bit of time that we're here, then there's nothing else that really matters on this planet. And for me, I'm trying to make sure that I keep trying to get closer and closer to having a more and more understanding of who I am, what I'm all about, what I'm able to do, and what it is that I need to keep continuing to do on this planet, and keep basically like doing that, and then showing other people what it is that I do and how I'm able to do that. Because for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I just come to realize the more and more that I can get, the more and more that I do what it is that I do, the more and more I realize the people around me want to start doing that same thing. And the more and more I realize that the closer and closer I get to God, and the more I keep on praying and asking about it, and the more that I was slightly frustrated talking to God about it, but like, God, why these people always just doing what I'm doing? Why are they always just trying to copy everything that I do? And my feedback is just like, Mark, it's good, man. That's good, because you're only setting people up for absolute success. you're not setting them up for failure. You're not setting people up to be angry at themselves. You're not setting people up to figure out how to have without and to be in lack. You're setting people up to have more. You're setting people up to be able to take care of themselves. You're setting people up to be able to make sure that they can do for themselves, to be able to do for their family, to be able to make for their community. You're setting people up to make sure that they're going to start to be good to go. And that's something for me that I want to really, really be more and more a part of. And I really want to be able to dial that in more, that whatever it is that I do, I hope, and I pray and I wish that more and more people want to keep on doing what it is that I do. And I hope that people want to keep on trying to upgrade what it is that you're doing to try to compete and do better than me. And that just makes me super excited that you want to try and do better than me, because that lets me know that the power of God is working really, really hard, and he's working really, really good. And he's absolutely amazing, and he's the best of the best, and he's the coolest of the coolest. And he that lets me know how much more true God really truly is on this planet. And he's not some fake fairy tale, that he's real, he's legit, and he's serious. And he's dead on serious about knowing exactly what it is that we need and what it is that we should be doing and what it is that we need to continue to keep working on with ourselves. That sometimes when we don't quite know ourselves, we want to follow somebody else. And as long as we're following that right person, you're only going to end up in a nice best case scenario situation with being able to get yourself in a better place, and being able to understand yourself more, and being able to just deal with yourself more. That I feel like a lot of us just have problems with not even being able to sit with your own selves. And that's why you have to constantly keep on like looking and searching and finding and going to try and like do more and more and get more and more, that you're not even satisfied with your own self. And you're just sitting around in your house, or sitting in your apartment, or sitting in your tent, or sitting wherever you're sitting, and just feeling like I don't know how to do anything all on my own. And that's why you're constantly just like watching people and trying to copy what it is that you're doing. And I'm going to say that I'm thankful for myself to be able to have the certain people that I watch, that I try to follow, that I try to be like, because they were only people that were getting closer and closer and had a better understanding of who God is and what God is all about. Instead of me following the other people that I feel like I used to follow wrong people as a kid a lot, all the time. I used to listen to all the wrong music. I used to think that they were all just so awesome. And especially today when I get older and listen to some of that older music, I get a real good understanding of knowing exactly like these people were destructive. And in reality, unfortunately, most of the people that I used to listen to, a lot of the artists, a lot of the music, they're all passed away from suicide at this point today. And it's a very, very interesting situation, because I used to really, really like watching and listening and studying these guys and listening to the music hardcore all the time, just to come to find out in the end that they have all harmed themselves to death in the end by the time they hit my age and a little bit more. And that's something that is just so sad to me, and so interesting to me, that I wonder how many of y'all are out there following people like that you don't know exactly what's going on with them, that they are headed on that destructive path, that they are saying, they are screaming out for help. And a lot of the music that they're doing, and a lot of the movies that they're doing, that they're just asking for help. I mean, movies as well, people. A lot of movies that I used to really, really like, all those actors have committed suicide. Like, it's such an interesting thing. It's so interesting to me that it's so sad to me. But it's like I used to study these people and really, really watch them and really try to be like them, and try to dress like them, try to talk like them, try to walk like them, try to do everything like them, and just to realize that they were setting me up for absolute destruction. They're setting me up to be someone that was just headed down that same exact route. And in reality, that is the route that I was headed on. That is the route that I was all about. That is the route that I was on, until the day that God just, I feel like, intervened in my life on my last day of living and said, no, man, just try this. You got another day, and you got another couple minutes. Shoot, a day. At that time, I didn't have days. I had minutes. I was living by minutes a minute. I was making decisions that, you know, I didn't know. I was nowhere. I had nothing to do. So it's just something for me that I was headed on that same path of all those people that I was following, all those people that I was watching to and studying. I ended up in a very, very dangerous, destructive path. And for me, that's something that I want to make sure that anybody and everybody else is being very, very aware of what it is that they're doing, so that they are not headed down that same destructive path, that they are moving on to doing something different, that they are moving away from being a part of some destructive, mind-altering type stuff, that you are headed to a better, more smooth, more understanding purpose on this life. And And that's why for me, before, I would always be very, very frustrated when someone would want to watch me or study me or do anything like me, because I was headed on a very dangerous path of just wanting to harm myself all day. And it would just frustrate me on watching why someone would just want to do what it is that I do, knowing that all I want to do is harm myself. Whereas today I have a whole different situation in life where, oh, let's get down. A whole different situation in life where I just have a good understanding of who I am and what I'm capable of doing, that I want you to follow exactly what it is that I do today, because I know where I'm leading you. I know the route, the path that I'm trying to make sure that you get to, because I know the path that I'm trying to be able to get my own self to, that I'm no longer trying to go down the, say, negative pathway, that I'm headed towards a more positive pathway of getting more understanding of how to be able to care for myself, to be able to care for you, and to be able to get you to be able to care for someone else, and to be able to care for your own self at the same time. And that's something that I just feel like is very, very powerful. And it's so powerful in a way that that's how I know that God is real, because he's been able to help me out and being able to get me into a situation to be able to help out other people, and not only just my own self anymore at this moment. That in reality, some things have been changing, a lot has been changing, and a lot has been going on that's just been an absolute blessing for me in my life, that I'm just waiting for a certain opportunity I feel like is about to happen, that I don't know what it is yet, but I'm just waiting, and I'm patiently waiting. And I'm steadfastly waiting, having a good understanding, knowing that I'm needed in some sort of way because of what it is that I do, and what it is that I know, and how it is that I am, that I'm just super excited about whatever it is that's going to be. But for me, I've come to realize just being able to have a good understanding of God has been able to get me to understand more of myself, to be able to get me to upgrade my life and upgrade my existence, to be able to do some awesome things. And those awesome things has been able to really keep me just, I'm going to say, satisfied with being satisfied with what it is that I have, and being satisfied with what it is that I don't have, and appreciating way more what it is that I do have. I mean, being extremely grateful for what it is that I have, because I can have it. I already have it. I already see it. I'm already taking care of it. It's already around me, and just being more and more satisfied with what it is that I actually do currently have. And that's something for me that is just absolutely amazing, that I want more and more people to be able to be a part of and be able to have, because it's just, oh, it's still frozen. I got to give these chickens some water because they're sitting here scraping up from the bottom. But something that really just really like and really have is just to be able to be satisfied with what it is I have. And it's something I want more and more people to be able to be a part of, and more and more people to be able to just have a good understanding of, because sometimes we get a little messed up with trying to constantly feel like we don't have this and we don't have that, and just stuck in the, we don't know what to do because I don't have enough and I don't have. But I'm going to tell you, you got something, and that's something that you have is something that's more than enough for you to be able to enjoy, and to be able to figure out how to master, and be able to figure out how to be able to take care of. And that's something that we all need to take a good hard look at ourselves, to be able to try to figure out how to be able to make sure that we are not being selfish, isn't the word that I want to say, but being just not grateful. I don't know what the term for not grateful is, but being not grateful for what it is that we already actually do have. Because you could have nothing. I mean, nothing. And nothing being to the extent of just being dead in a way, that you've got nothing at all, that you actually have a chance, you have something, you have life, you have a basic start to be able to do something absolutely amazing. And that's something that I feel like a lot of us really don't appreciate enough, that we're always just feeling like, oh, that person has this more and that person has that more, then I need to be able to have some of this and I need to be able to get that, and you're just headed down a very, very destructive path, because you feel like you don't have. And we have way more than enough. We have more than we ever could possibly ever even dream of having. Just the fact of being alive. And then once you start to really just appreciate what it is that you do have, what it is that's around already, then things are really going to start being an upgrade for you, starting to be better for you, starting to be nicer for you. I'm telling you, that is the only way to be able to, Oreo. Let's get down. That is the only way for you to be able to figure out how to be able to have peace on this earth, and how to have joy on this earth, and how to have just self-compassion and self-control on this earth. How to have any of that. You're not going to have any of that until you just are satisfied and happy with what it is that you already currently have. And that's something that I want more and more people to just keep doing what it is that I do. Keep trying to do what it is that I do. Keep trying to figure out how I do what it is that I do. Keep trying to research little things that you see around that it is that I do. Keep trying to tell yourself that I got a better this than I have. That's something that kind of just really excites me in some sort of way, and not a way of trying to be I don't know what word to use right there, but in a way of me knowing that you are only getting yourself closer to understanding who God is and understanding what he's all about. That it's not for me to care what it is that you do, because in reality, you got to do what you got to do. You can't do what I do. And as much as you want to try and do what it is that I do, you're only going to set yourself up for failure. But at the same time, you're at least not going to set yourself up for failure to being destructive. And that's something that I don't want anybody to be a part of anymore, based on a lot of the information that I used to study, a lot of people I used to watch, a lot of stuff that I used to be a part of, that I used to set myself up for absolute failure with listening to the people I listened to and watching the people that I watched, because they were not giving and saying and spreading the right message at all. They were spreading the message of hate, of destruction, of lust, of envy, of strife, of just jealousy. They were just spreading a horrible message, and not even that, but even just slandering as well. One of my main artists, the man is still alive today, so I don't want to talk about that guy specific, but he just would, his main mission in life was just to slander people, was just to talk about people, talk about his own family, talk about all his friends, and just be ruthless about it. And I would just listen to that all day, every day, listening to a guy just talk bad about everybody around. And that's something for me that I don't ever want to have anybody follow somebody like that, because they are not right. They are very destructive. They're very damaging, and trying to follow someone like that is going to end up leading you to be that same thing in the end. And I don't think that a lot of y'all really pay close attention to that, because especially with a lot of TV shows and movies on today, I think the main reason that I cannot watch a single movie or a single TV show today, because it always leads to violence. There's always violence in it. It's violence to the point today that it's disgusting, that people are just killing each other. They are just fighting to the death all the time. It's always fighting. Violence in every single movie, even in kids' movies today. It's just violence, so I just can't watch it. I can't aspire to be it. I can't be like, ooh, Superman is cool or Spider-Man is cool. It's just always violent. Spider-Man is always fighting. He's just fighting, slaying, fighting. Avengers are just fighting. These are supposed to be like fun, entertaining movies, but they're just always fighting. They're just always battling. There's always just the next thing where we just gotta fight. It's no longer like an actual problem that's going on. It's just a fight, and it's something that I just can't ever be a part of anymore. I'm not in that. I'm not gonna pay attention to that. I'm not gonna wanna subscribe to any of that type of language or any type of attitude or any type of conversation at all today. That it's very, very, it's so damaging, people. It's so damaging to constantly keep in this I want to fight mode. I want to be on a fight all the time. And that's something that I don't think that a lot of people really pay any close attention to in reality, that you're just watching it, you're consuming all this content, you're consuming all this information, and you're just moving on with it. You're just moving forward with it, saying that, oh, it's acceptable and oh, this is okay because, it's on all the time and everybody else does it. And I'm going to tell you that there's some people on this planet that don't watch any of that don't pay attention to any of that. And that's something that you yourself should also not pay attention to and not be on and not try to do about. Don't do the same thing that everybody else does. And it's the same with, I can say, with when the times of the end of the year, that everybody wants to subscribe to doing all the same holiday stuff and all these things, and it's just like, don't pay any attention to it. Just move on. Keep cruising with your days. Keep cruising with your times. It's another day. It's not a day that God has recognized and said is something that is spectacular and something that is special to pay attention to. It's not a day to sit here and try to give gifts to everybody and trying to have dinner with everybody. There's just, unfortunately, but fortunately for me, multiple times in that Bible where it does state that there's just things that God hates and he doesn't like and he doesn't care for, and he doesn't want us to be celebrating something other than him. And that's something that he makes very, very clear. And it's something that I don't think that a lot of people really like to pay attention to, that you want to just do because you see what everybody else does and they do. And that's something that I just don't do. I'm not that. And I'm never going to be that. I'm going to do what it is that God wants me to do. I'm going to do what it is that he's commanded to do. I'm going to do what it is that he's recommended to do. And I'm going to stay forward and stick with that and keep on pursuing that and not doing what it is I see all these other human beings doing. Because human beings are going to lead you to absolute destruction. And especially if that human being is not following, is not being a part of the movement of being with God and living by God and living through God and having God as his or her foundation. That if you're listening to someone who that's not their foundation, you are headed in a very, very sticky situation in life. And I don't ever want anybody to be in a situation like that. I want everyone to be able to upgrade your lives into a better place and not feeling in lack and feeling like you don't have. And with that said, I just want to say thank you for today, for being able to be one of the main things again this morning that I said when I woke up was just thank you for being alive. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for being able to have a chance to be. Thank you for the sun again today, because the sun really just, I don't know what it is, but this Texas, I'm going to say, is amazing. It's a very, very wonderful state. It's an absolutely beautiful state at the same time. And it's something that I've come to really, really appreciate in my life, that I really enjoy this place, and I really enjoy every place that I've been around in Texas, even in the country, where I'm probably going to be moving to next, in the country. It's very nice. It's very pretty. All the rocks and all the way everything looks, and the way the weather is and how it is and how the sun is, and just how the clouds are. It's just like today is just a bright blue, beautiful sky day that I greatly appreciate this place, and it's absolutely amazing. And it's something that everyone should come and visit for sure, at least, because it's a really, really nice place. And the way that they do all the architecture and everything, how they build bridges and how everything is just so cool around here, that I'm just so appreciative of that. And I'm just so appreciative of being able to continue to keep taking care of these baby chicks, that everything is looking good with them. I had a day that I lost a couple of them because they got a little, it was too hot but too cold. I got to play with the balance with them. But at the same time, I think it was a feed issue more than too hot, too cold, that they were a little extra frantic because I didn't quite give them enough feed, that I had to really change some things up with them. I've just been studying them a lot to figure out how to better case my scenario every single time. That I'm going to lose some, unfortunately, always, but it's never a loss. Because in reality, more than 60, maybe 70% of those chickens are going to be for dog food, because that's what allows these guys to keep on chugging along and looking good and being good and keeping my bills way low, like super low, because having 5 dogs can get kind of expensive in the end with feeding with some dog food. So being able to raise that out to be able to feed to them is something that's an absolute blessing for me. And then having a smaller portion just for me to be able to eat myself is just it's just awesome. Like I don't know. It's really, really cool. It's a very, very interesting situation for me to be able to be in, and it's something that I would like more people to be able to be a part of, to be able to be in, to figure out how to be able to take care of everything that I need here. Like I'm trying my best to not go anywhere, to have no external things to take care of what it is that I have here, that I could take care of all of it on my own here, all by myself, with growing all my own things, be able to take care of all of these animals and being able to grow everything that I need to be able to keep everything cruising and going. Because if I'm living in the middle of nowhere and I don't have no power, no water, no nothing, I want to make sure that I still have all the nice stuff. I don't want to live in some shack and some tent. No, I want a nice house that has a toilet that goes out. I want to have all nice food. I want to have all my animals. I want to have all of my everything around. I don't want to just be living caveman style. I want to live in luxury in the middle of nowhere with nothing. And that's my game plan of always figuring out how to keep on upgrading what it is that I'm doing out here, to be able to have some more fun with that. And I'm very, very grateful to be able to continuing to keep experimenting with this and keep playing with this and to keep doing what it is that I keep doing with this, because it's something that is just, I don't know, but it's super enjoying. It's super fun. It's just super awesome. It's really, really neat, and it's something that I really want more and more people to for sure start to get a part of and get their hands in on. And I just like it. I have fun with it, and I hope that today you're able to see something or hear something or be something that's a little different than what you've ever done before, to be able to do something different tomorrow so that you can wake up and say, hey, God, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you for another chance. Thank you for giving me this. Thank you for this bed. Thank you for this house. Thank you for the roof that's on this house. Thank you for all the lumber that you put to put it together. And thank you for these windows. And thank you for my car to be able to get me places I need to be able to get to. Thank you for this water that I can heat up to be able to take this nice hot shower right now. Thank you for everything that I have, and just to start thanking them for everything that you do have, that you do see, that you do touch. Thank you for the fork that you have. Thank you for the pots and the pans that you got, and the plates and the cups that you have, and the bowls that you're eating your cereal out of. Thank you for everything that's inside of that refrigerator and for that refrigerator. Thank you for the people that created that refrigerator that has allowed me to be able to have my food in here, that has a freezer on the top and or the bottom and or the side to be able to freeze some stuff, and then on the other side have something a little bit cooler to cool my stuff, and just be thankful and be appreciative for everything that you have around you, and stop worrying about what it is that you don't have. But do look at what you do have. We all have something. You're not running around this world naked right now. You may only just have a tent and some clothes and some little bit of luggage, and that's it. But be thankful for that. Be thankful that you at least have that on you right there. You do have some shoes. You do have some pants, you do have some shirts, you do have something. You got something. And if you're just thankful for that little bit of something that you have, I'm telling you, you're gonna watch your life just start getting better and better, because you're not gonna be focused on what you don't have, because being focused on what you don't have is lack, and it's frustrating, and it's gonna anger you. And that's something that you don't ever wanna be a part of. And I hope that y'all have a great day, a great week, this is the start of a week. Great start of a week. Make something happen, do something different. And really think about what it is that you have to be able to work on to be able to get it into a better place scenario. And with that said, I just want to say thank you.